Hey, family of lovers and leaders, welcome to another time with me, Dr. Sarah, your IO psychologist. We are going to get into another real world situation from someone out there in the workplace and posted their experience on glassdoor.com. Okay, we're going into glassdoor.com again. It is a tough story. I tell you, let's just go get right into it. All right. So here is what this fella, he's a program manager. This is what he says. Okay. He says, I'm exhausted and feel failed by the system. Okay. I did everything right, high school, college, master's degree, and have 8+ years in his field. I don't know what that field is. Okay. He says, my wife and I have 150K in student debt. And he says his student debt is going to be gone next year. So that's 2026. And because he only posted this about 17 hours ago, this post. So he says his debt is going to be gone next year, but his wife isn't. It's still active, the debt. And he says, I've been job hunting 3+ years, okay, with maybe 10 interviews. He says maybe 10 interviews. And then he says, before COVID, I had offers monthly. So he had monthly job offers during before COVID, okay? And now he says, I'm lucky to get a rejection email. We know how that is. You don't hear from them like when you apply, crickets. I mean, goodness. And then he says, I don't want anyone's opinions. He don't want no one's opinions, but he's going to get mine today. He says, I'm burnt out. And then he says, sincerely, a millennial, the system screwed over. Isn't that tough? He says that a millennial. So who are my millennials? Let me know in the comment section, okay? My response is going to be targeting you all and, of course, the other groups of people out there, okay? So he is, even though he doesn't want, I don't know what his name is, but it's a he because, he talked about his wife also having student debt, okay? Even though he don't want our opinion, child, but I'm still going to give my opinion today, all right? So this is what I would say to him, because he definitely needs some encouragement. He's burnt out, he's exhausted, and him and his wife are going through it. And some of you out there listening are also going through something similar or like the same. Let me know in a comment section, please, okay? So this is what I would advise you all. There is something in IO psychology called the 4R career reset framework. The 4 is the number 4, the letter R, career reset framework. So I'm just going to give you a watered down overview of what the framework looks like, okay? And then I'm going to go into some real life case study of how to really apply this for our career reset, because our friend over there, I'm just going to call him Philip. Our friend definitely needs some encouragement. And over here on this platform, we will encourage each other. Amen. And plus, I want to just give some real good framework so he can really reset his mind and his approach as he continues to go through this choppy waters of trying to land a new job, okay, with his master's degrees, like he mentioned, and plus that student debt, okay? So here's an overview of what this 4R career reset framework looks like, okay? It's phase number 1 is to recognize, okay, and ask yourself the question, just basically map your current reality, all right? So recognizing is to really map out your current reality. And the key question as you're mapping out your current reality, because we want to stay in the present, is to ask the question, what exactly is broken? What's wrong? All right, what's really broken? Is it your mindset that's kind of off? Is it your approach? Is it, something you need to level up in terms of like skill refreshing? So phase 1 is recognize. map out your current reality. All right, we want to stay in the present, your current reality, and what exactly is broken in the system, your internal system or the external system in the workplace, the job market, etc., etc. And then phase number 2 is reframe. Okay, so basically shifting the narrative from being a victim, all right, to a strategist, all right, a strategist, doing some things very intentionally and understanding the why, reason, and what you're going to do. And the question I want you to consider when you're doing the reframing of this 4R step framework is, how can I interpret this? All right, so that's the question. How can I interpret this? So again, reframe is shifting the narrative from victim to strategist, and how can I interpret this, the situation you're in? And the third part of this framework is reset. Okay, and that's considering taking some micro actions, small actions that can rebuild your confidence. Our friend Mr. Philip needs to rebuild his confidence in himself and in this system of, academia, because he took all his degrees. That's why he has student loan debt, and also into the system of the work world. Okay, so take micro actions that rebuild your confidence. And I want you to ask yourself the question, what tiny wins can I claim? What tiny wins can I claim? All right, the final step in this 4R reset framework is called radiate. Okay, radiate. So basically, I want you to broadcast your renewed energy and expertise. Broadcast your renewed energy and expertise. And with the question is, who knows my story now? Oh, I'm sorry, who needs my story now? Who needs my story now? Because everything we go through, okay, even though it's hard in the moment, it's going to be a teaching moment for somebody else coming right behind you. All right. And then you're going to be an expert in that area. All right. So let's take a deep dive with, I'm going to explain a little bit more about this 4R reset framework. Okay. So in phase 1 is recognize, right? And literally you're writing out all the facts of the situation, So in Mr. Phillips' situation, he has a debt balance. Some of you might have that debt balance. He's got years of experience, 8+ years of experience in his industry. We don't know what industry that is. Some other facts of the situation is that he sent applications, job applications. These are the facts, right? And, we also want you to write down the interviews that you may have landed. Okay, if you're in a similar situation like this is the phase 1. Recognize, all right, what you've done so far and write it down. So again, that's debt balance. So in the case of Mr. Phillips' situation, write down if you have a debt balance, years of experience, in the work, in the kind of job you have and in the type of industry you have. Write down the job applications that you've sent, and write down any interviews that you've landed, okay? This is no shame, my friend, okay? You out there in the back, this is no shame. This is just data, all right? You need some real tangible data to hold on to as you reset your perspective and your approach, trying to land yourself on the job and really just, encouraging yourself to move forward, okay? And the key here in the first phase is not that you're failing, all right? You're not failing. Your outcomes are just simply the output of a broken system and a pandemic shift in the case of Mr. Phillip, okay? And some of you can certainly resonate with his case. Now, phase number 2, again, is reframe. So, you know what? We're going to help Mr. Phillip here, all right? And any of you that resonate with this story, we're going to flip from the mindset of I'm failed by the system, all right? The system is the job market system, the academic system. You're going to flip from I'm failed by the system, and to instead think of I'm uniquely positioned to diagnose its flaws. All right, you and I, Mr. Phillip, are now uniquely, that's the new mindset. I am uniquely positioned, all right, to diagnose the system. And your expertise in navigating hardship becomes a unique selling point. Did you ever think about that? Yeah. All the things that you've gone through, even if you haven't quite overcome it yet, you are an expert. All right? You are an expert, and you're going to become an expert in navigating the hardship. That's going to be your unique selling point moving forward. Okay? Trust me, because the mindset will be, I'm the expert who survived and learned how to pivot. That's one thing I love about this framework. In this reframe phase 2, is that you, in the case of Mr. Phillip and many of your cases out there, your new mindset is, I'm the expert who survived and learned how to pivot. Yes, yes, indeed. Okay, if this is resonating with you, let me know in the comment section, and remember to give me a like. All right, phase number 3 in this framework. Again, remember? You remember what it was? Reset. So what I challenge you to do is to pick one micro action to do today. One small micro action for you today. And as a result of that, I'm just going to challenge you to shoot a 60-second LinkedIn clip on your lessons from burnout. All right, because again, we're using Mr. Phillip's case, right? Shoot a 60-second LinkedIn clip on your lessons from burnout, and reach out to one peer for a 5-minute coffee brainstorming session, just to chit chat and see what you can learn from each other and what they can learn from you. And also, I would challenge you is to take a free online skill. All right. Just take a free online skill, maybe like 30 minutes of an online skill. Maybe, look into to see how some AI tools can help you in your in the field that you work with, and share that one tip on social media. And you know why I want you to do that is taking a free course, without fully investing it, is you kind of auditing that skill to really see how valuable or not valuable it is to people, especially HR professionals that will be looking at your resume if you put your resume on LinkedIn, right? So yeah, why don't you just audit a new skill, such as something with AI, all right, and make a quick video, about it, and post it on your LinkedIn profile, all right? And just see the response. Let's just see if it's something that people resonate with. And if you do see people resonating with it, check their profiles, check their titles. Are they managers? Are they HR folks? So let's just, just to see how important that particular new skill is or is not. And if it is not, well, then continue taking on some new free courses that you can find probably on Coursera, for example, and some other places like that. And just really, trial and error. Make a clip about it. Let people know how you found the new skill. Let people know how, you've decided to use it in your field. And just pay attention to the response or lack thereof. Okay? All right. So that was phase number 3, reset. Okay? And now we are going to go, I actually want to give you a Christian encouragement. All right. Remember Romans chapter 8, verse 28. God repurposes every setback. Every setback. That's Romans, the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. God repurposes every setback. Your burnout isn't the end, my friend. Mr. Phillip and everyone like him, it's the raw material for your next chapter. All right. Now we're going to move nicely to phase number 4, which is radiate. Remember, radiate. So in this phase of the framework, we're going to repackage your story as proof. And you're going to say this in your mind and write it down if you need to. You say, in the case of Mr. Phillip, after 8 years and massive debt, here's how I'm reinventing my career and mental health. You see that new mindset shift from what he was saying earlier? Exhaustion, the system failed him. This last part of the 4R reset framework is asking us to repackage our stories, all right? And the new mindset, the new framework from Mr. Phillip and everyone else like Mr. Phillip is after 8 years, this is what you tell yourself, after 8 years of massive debt, here's how I'm reinventing my career and mental health, okay? Because he's exhausted and burnt out and we need to help him, okay? So how are you going to reinvent yourself? Publishing. I want you to do one, I'm going to challenge you all out there, and Mr. Phillip, if you're ever hearing me, one blog post, one, tweet on X, all right? Or, post something on Threads, and one video just to test the waters, all right? Just to test the waters. Repackage your story. As I said, as proof, like after 8 years of massive debt, here's how I'm reinventing my career and my mental health. Make a blog out of it. Make a small post out of it. Just put it out there and, just to test the waters to see how people respond to your new mindset and how, you're repackaging your career now. And then I want you to engage. Yes, engage. Tag people you respect. Ask questions, what they thought about your posting, and anything else that comes to mind. Maybe if they resonate with that, and you could be that expert and say, well, this is how I dealt with it, right? And invite collaboration. Listen, my friend, you're no longer ghosted. I know, as you said, pre-COVID you got so many callbacks for jobs and offers, and post-COVID is like crickets. After this 4R framework, you're no longer going to be ghosted. You're a magnet for opportunities that align with your real world expertise, because people want real people that have overcome setbacks and bounce back again. All right, bounce back again. Let me tell you of my client. I'll just call him Alex, okay, who I encouraged him to use this 4R framework, and this is what his results were. He had a similar story with some student debt as well, by chance, and same kind of issue, like post-COVID, such a slump in people reaching out to him after he was doing some job applications, like many of you are experiencing right now. And he used this 4R framework with an open mind, and he was like, and I could tell he just needs to change his mindset, and this was the perfect framework. I believe there was an alignment for him. And number one of the 4R framework, this was some of his outcomes. He recognized his burnout, his stress levels was tied to the lack of skills that was obvious, because since he wasn't getting any callbacks post COVID, he had to recognize that his burnout, his emotional pain, his stress, okay, his exhaustion was really tied to the lack of skills, being refreshed. So at least I was so happy that he was really authentic with himself and towards me as well. Because there's many times we'll be giving excuses and blaming, the job market, blaming AI, blaming HR, okay? So that was the first step of the phase. He recognized, he had the awareness that he need a skill refreshing. And number two, he reframed his situation as a opportunity to onboard to opportunities for new technology. All right, for new technology. He just saw this situation like, okay, I need some skills, so now I'm going to dive into some new technology to improve his skills. All right, and the phase 3 of the framework, which was reset. So in his resetting period, he took a free 2-day AI micro course. Okay, he took it was a free 2-day AI micro course, and as a result of that, he started to radiate, child. He started to radiate and get really excited from the 2-day course that he took, and it was free. All right, he just kind of was testing the waters. And he was actually sharing a mini guide on LinkedIn, and he shared it with me. I was so proud of him. So imagine he just said, you know what? I need some new skills. He decided to use AI, took a 2-day free course. I believe it was from Coursera, or it may have been some Google course. I can't remember now. But as soon as he really knew how to use the AI tools that he was really interested in for his current job, and he was actually thinking some and pivoting to some new jobs and so in the new industry, he was able to come up with a mini guide. I was so proud of him. Anyway, he shared it. 2 weeks later, after using his 4R framework, okay, he tells me he lands 3 interviews, all right, and 3 interviews and 1 job offer, okay. Mind blown. I was like, wow, wow. And this, when I started with him, this took a period of about, I think, like 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks, yeah. And he was very, very like on it. I didn't have to push him. Once he saw the light from Dr. Sarah, okay, because I'll listen, I'll advise you, but I'm not going to push you, all right? But I'm going to keep encouraging you. Once he finally saw the light, within like 6 to 8 weeks, it just lit up for him, and I was super happy. You could see the light in his eyes. He got so excited. And yeah, landed 3 interviews and finally 1 offer. And that, my friends, that could be your story. That could be your story for sure. That could certainly be your story. And if you check out my link below, you can certainly sign up with a consultation with me. If you have a similar story like Alex, and you need some breakthrough, you need a new mental shift, please do not miss out. Take advantage of this 4R framework that I've provided for you. Take advantage of setting up some time with me to walk you through, either be your mentor or be your counsel. I am happy to do that with you. I understand what it's like to get through the rigmarole of trying to get jobs in various industries and various organizations. And this is why I love my job as an IO psychologist, because I have empathy. I have empathy for you. And I provide you with real time-tested frameworks to change your mind so you can approach things in a different way. I really hope you enjoyed this 4R framework. Let me know what inspired you as a result of hearing this. Let me know in the comment section. And if this really gave you a aha moment, remember to give me a like. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss videos similar to this. And feel free to share this video with somebody that you know really needs to be encouraged. All right, and let them know that they're not alone. Until next time. This is Dr. Sarah, your IO psychologist. Stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.